amazing that that song was just played because, you know, I've spent a lot of time unsubscribing recently, and I feel like if unsubscribing had a theme song, it would be Hotel California because, right, you know, you can check in, you can even uncheck anytime you like, but basically you can never really leave. So, you know, the thing is, listen, here's my case story. I gave Sherrod Brown a small donation, and then I unsubscribed from Sherrod Brown for Senate. Now, who's Sherrod Brown, you might ask? He's a smart, well-balanced senator from Ohio. Do we have anyone in this room from Ohio? Okay. Just so happens. And, you know, we have to keep Ohio sane. And so, you know, I unsubscribed. And the next morning, I find that I'm subscribed to Friends of Sherrod. Now, Friends of Sherrod is fun for a few days. You know, I do have to admit, like, I'm not his friend. I'd like to be his friend. But I'm standing a little taller because Sherrod Brown he's the kind of Democrat that Republicans vote for, too. And I'm not going to get political on you right now, but I do have to say that I like those kind of people, the people that you didn't know, are they red, are they blue? They were just normal and boring. They talked to each other, and they were kind of familiar with the Constitution. There was a time when this happened. So standing tall, I realized I'm going to need more than sneakers if I'm a friend of Sherrod Brown. So I Google comfortable shoes you can walk 5 miles in. Many options. You know, I like soft leather, but, you know, I don't know. Is that politically correct? I'm not a vegetarian. But I don't know. So I Google that. And the next day I find that I've been subscribed to Beyond Sneakers, Zappos Daily Digest, and Vegetarian Living. And it's like the veg living people, it's almost like they have a window into my brain. Because you know what? They're showing me pictures of curried vegetables and coconut milk. Now, you know what? I love coconut milk. But guess what? Is coconut milk healthy? We kind of know it's not. It's filled with saturated fats. And so the question for me was, how bad really is saturated fat? And so my Stay Healthy subscription reports that it's a lot like taking your favorite bag of potato chips, and by the way, love potato chips, and you put them on the floor, and you do a flamenco dance on them in your leather shoes that you now own. And just at that point, before they become liquid, that, my friends, is saturated fat. And they show you pictures of it, and they have metrics. And I try not to look at that too closely because it's very disturbing. But then I think, wait a second, I gotta really check this out. So, you know, if you really want to stay healthy, you got to get the Cleveland Clinic today. So I do the research there, and you know what they say is no chips, replace them with sliced apples at lunch. I mean, seriously, are these people on drugs? So I unsubscribed from both of these, which is not actually easy because the unsubscribe button is at the long end of a scroll. It's written in invisible ink the size of an atom. Like, am I right? And, you know, so when you finally found it, you unsubscribe, and then you find you've actually been promoted. You're now a member of their customer research team. Why are you unsubscribing? How about because I freaking want to? But that is not necessarily one of the boxes you can check. Now, I'd like to spend time on this, but I don't really have that kind of time because Modern Progressive has arrived in my inbox. Am I modern? Am I a progressive? You know, I am so frustrated with political polarization. I Google aging with common sense and find, right? You know what? No one owns that website. No one has a blog named that. Sidebar, I buy websites. I bought that website. True story. My business partner, Joanne, is here, and she knows that I probably actually did do that. Now, just the names. I own one called Nice Italian Girl. That is also true. I do own that website. Which is what my mother wanted me to be, and I'm still sort of waiting to grow into it, and I'll keep you posted. So anyhow, it's time for dinner, and thankfully I subscribe to the New York Times Cooking. I have bookmarked 317 recipes there, none of which I've ever made. And but I searched coconut milk, and frankly, the guilt is getting to me because, you know, coconut milk, not really good for you. And what I realize is if I leave now, I can make happy hour at the consulate, which is at my corner. So I race there and order something called a Oui Mademoiselle. And I'm going to tell you something. A lot of people exaggerate with names, but when you drink a Oui Mademoiselle, you're both slightly more French and significantly more agreeable. And so I have one of those, and I'm just enjoying it so much. And I say to the barman, there's just something like magic in here. Like, what is it? I know it's vodka and blackberry puree, but there's something else going on here. And he goes, well, that is Saint-Germain, and which, you know, you probably know, is elderflower liqueur. And so I spent some time on Wikipedia investigating this because I think it's important to understand how Saint-Germain is made, because it's now going to be an essential part of my lifestyle. Saint-Germain, this is the kind of thing you can find out on Wikipedia. It is made using the petals of elderflowers, which are collected in the springtime by French people in the countryside, and they gather them in linen bundles, and they bicycle to collection points, everyone. I am not making this up. This is in Wikipedia. It's so amazing because they don't want to damage those leaves. And, you know, thank you, Wikipedia. Thank you so very, very much. You know, Jimmy Wales, I mean, he knows how much I appreciate this random information. I mean, French people like bicycling with elderflower petals. It's amazing. So he sends me a donation link right at that moment saying, you know, hey, would you be willing to give me $5 for what you just found out? And I'm thinking, you know what? 60 years ago, my mother spent $250 on World Book encyclopedias that were out of date by the time we actually needed them. So when you got to that, you know, that unit called like Countries of South America, and you had to do that report on Bolivia, nothing actually applied anymore. But, you know, that was the days then. So I'm like, why would I not give this guy $5? If you go onto the Bolivian national website right now, you can hear their national anthem on Wikipedia, and you will find out, and I just offer this for those of you who might be thinking about a stint on Jeopardy anytime soon, that Bolivia is the largest landlocked country in the Southern Hemisphere. Take that. It's all yours. So I pick up Saint-Germain from the liquor store because, you know what, I got to have my own bottle now, right? And so at the exit, they want to add me to their list. This is where I'm drawing the line. No, I am not going to sign up for another subscription. But wait, if I agree, I'll get a stopper designed for half-consumed sparkling wines. I do not have one of those. So I leave with a stopper and a new relationship. So when I get home, it's been a long day, and I just want to take a quick glance at the email, and I see something lifts up out of that clutter, and it says, and this is a quote, Jackson quick-dry sizing issue solved. First of all, I don't know if I own a Jackson, but it's so interesting. I'm like, let me just check this out. It's from Orvis, from whom I once bought a cotton neckerchief with pictures of like wildflowers and grizzly bears on, you know, because it sort of reminded me of all the Girl Scout badges I never achieved. So I kind of look at this thing, and there are all these pictures of happy hikers. True. And it's just like, who here doesn't want to be a happy hiker? And I get like very drawn into that. And they have all these categories I peruse, you know, dogs, hunt, fly fishing. And I got to tell you, you know, those wader boots in fly fishing, very cool, very good vibe on those is what I'm feeling. So, look, I promise you, I absolutely did not subscribe to Fisherman's Gazette. Like, no way. But it did turn up in my inbox the next morning. Now, fishing. I live in the city. Fishing. But this month they're featuring a profile on Midwestern lakes that are great for fishing, and they're sparkling with dragonflies. They're like they have these green banks where you can sit and have a great picnic while you're waiting to hook a walleye in Ohio's Mosquito Creek Lake, and I'm just like, wow. But wait, Ohio? And just like that, Sherrod Brown, Ohio Strong, appears in my inbox, and seconds later in a text, I'm subscribed. And, I think, okay, Sherrod and me, we are going to age with common sense here in our own version of Hotel California. And I relax with yesterday's bubbly that still, thankfully, has a lot of pop. And I top it with some Saint-Germain, and I get to work on those barbecue chips. And that is my true story for tonight. Boom. Thank you.